is a fellow named Lonnie Johnson, and he's largely forgotten today, but he lived and died in Toronto. There was a fellow named Lonnie Donegan who kind of invented skiffle music in Britain and was the biggest influence on the Beatles. His real name wasn't Lonnie, but he changed it to Lonnie after he met Lonnie Johnson, who toured in Britain in the early 60s, late 50s. And that's when Lonnie Donegan invented skiffle music, which influenced everybody from the Beatles on down. Lonnie Johnson also was a huge influence on jazz and in blues. So you take it back to Lonnie Johnson, you come forward to people like Eddie Lang, T-Bone Walker, Charlie Christian, Wes Montgomery, B.B. King, and everybody that followed. And of course that means Eric Clapton and all of the folks that followed him. Lonnie Johnson is the wellspring of all that. He's the guy that's been forgotten. Even Robert Johnson, the guy who sold his soul to the devil, copied Lonnie Johnson. Without Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters, for instance, Led Zeppelin wouldn't have had some of their biggest hits. The Rolling Stones might not have had not only their hits, but the name of their band. The Rolling Stones came from a song that was popular from Muddy Waters, his song, Rolling Stone. Their song, Satisfaction, was basically a reworking of his theme, I Can't Be Satisfied. They called it Satisfaction. Rock came out of the blues. It came directly out of the blues. They didn't credit always the songwriters of the blues and the blues songwriters themselves, even Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters. They got it from an earlier tradition. But there's no doubt that rock music, especially heavy rock, so-called, came out of the blues. The single most influential UK guitarist that people don't often speak about, but really should, is Hank B. Marvin of the group The Shadows. He was the guy that made them all want to get a red Stratocaster, the most melodic sound. There was a time when in the movie business and in the music business, there were big studios, big labels, and those people developed an artist. Today, there's no chance for that. When we were kids, I mean, my generation, to quote Pete Townsend, we passed into adulthood through music by actually buying a physical piece of plastic with the music on it. And we valued that. And we realized that this was like a right of being an adult, having your own music. Today, we don't have that opportunity. Well, that might be a good thing because there's maybe less pollution when you just buy everything electronically. But when nobody's buying anything, it goes back to the artist. They can't make any money because they're not selling anything. You can't make a living doing it, then you don't have the option to really get better at it. I believe it's important for musicians and for all of us to not just look specifically at our own little niche, but to look at what's happening in the wider realm of things, whether you're a photographer or even a travel agent or a newspaper writer. All of these forms of business or art are being weakened by the fact that nobody's paying for the services. Things are breaking down in a very unpredictable way. And I do believe that the quality of artists suffers. Not the quality of music, because my goodness, there are so many wonderful independent musicians all over the internet and everywhere. It's really important, though, to look outside of music for where music is going, as well as inside, just like anything.
People still believe in the power of rock and roll music.
Hey, thanks for watching. My name is Daniel Sarkisian. I'm an independent filmmaker from Toronto.